Good morning, YouTube. Val be back again. Let's get it. Today's story is just a story from an experience in my life. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate the people who been rocking with me, that have subscribed and have even given comments. So this is a story about say an incident. It really wasn't even an incident. It turned out not to be an incident. But Detroit, every year, every weekend, had concerts, festivals at a place called Hart Plaza. Of course, everybody knows I'm from Detroit. So I decided I was going because I was crazy about 112 singing and Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight was the headliner. So I done put on a cute little mini sundress, sky blue. I'm down there early. See some of my people down there, from Detroit, you see people all the time. So I see some of my people and everything. So I didn't want to sit up in like the bleachers. So I'm standing right in front, right? I'm waiting. Geeked. I done got me something to eat, something to drink. Oh, I'm ready to go. So 112 and Brian McKnight sung their hearts out. It was hot outside. I'm not sure whether it was a June or July concert, but everybody was down there. We just having a good time. And then all of a sudden, I kind of started looking to the side because I see people moving. So I'm like, oh, what the heck is going on? Why is all these people moving out the way? So I'm looking around. Next thing I know, now where I was standing at was they always have like little metal, they had metal barricades where you couldn't get on the stage. So I'm just standing there, I'm looking. I'm just excited to be down there. Thought I was doing a little something in my little mini dress. It was cute. So, like I said, I started noticing people kind of backing away from me, just all kind of space emptied up around me. So I looked around. I was like, oh, well, I guess they leaving, right? Not paying attention to what was really going on. So after a while, I see all these people. I don't see anybody replace them. So I started looking around some more. So the next thing I know, I turn around. It's about 30 or 40 people surrounding me. So I turned around. At first I was like, I don't know none of these people. What's going on? So then out of that crowd steps up this lady. And guess what? I recognized her, right? So they started talking stuff like, yeah, we about to beat you up, whatever, whatever. I was like, hold up, what's going on? I know you, but I don't know them. She was like, oh, this my gang, and we gang related, and all this kind of crazy stuff. So I said, well, why is y'all surrounding me? And so she was like, well, we gonna beat you up. I said, well, no, I'm not about to allow that. I don't care how many y'all just gonna have to beat me up. But I'm not about to just stand here and let you do that, right? And so I said, I'm not scared of y'all. I don't care how many of us are y'all. Cause see, I know that out of this crowd, I know about 50, 60 people. Now she ain't know that. She knew me, but she ain't know that even though I came down there by myself, I don't never be alone. Period. And if something happened, they coming. Cause some of them ignorant. But all of them coming, ignorant or not. So I was like, well, what have I ever done to you? to make you want to jump on me and for you to bring all these dudes. You the only chick with them. If you want to square up, it could be just me and you. I said, but I'm not about to allow all y'all to jump on me. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to tell y'all this. I squared off with them. I didn't fight. It was no fight, period. At the end of this, she started talking to me about a book she wrote and gave me her book that she wrote. Oh, because I stood up to him. I was like, you're not about to make me scared in my own city or fearful from walking around and being by myself or whatever. I'm just not going for that. And whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, it ain't going down. I said, and I don't appreciate you. If you got something to say to me, you could have came up here where I'm at and you could have spoke like a lady or as a woman. I said, all this grandstanding you doing, you a gang leader. I said, I don't believe in no gangs. So, remember I told y'all the only gang I was in was Willie Mays, and that was my mama. So ain't no ganging, ain't no gang over here. So I was like, hey, what's up with that? I said, I don't appreciate that. I said, because I ain't never done nothing to you. There would be no reason for you to be moving a whole crowd out of 200 people or more trying to get at me, and then y'all don't do nothing. I said, I'll see you around in the city. I said, but I don't got no beef with you. So she started talking down, she started taking it down. And she was like, oh, I wrote a book and woo, woo, woo. So now at first, I was like, I don't care that you wrote no book. You done brought these people, and looked like your intentions was to jump on me. So I don't really care about your book. And she was like, yeah, well, I wrote a book about all the stuff I went through when I was young and everything. And I just want to give you a copy. And then I thought about it. I said, you know what? Maybe she in a space where she need somebody to read this book. And the book actually turned out to be a very good book. It was about her life and her experiences as a child, and it was pretty deep. So I kind of understood where she was at this moment when they confronted me, because she had went through a lot of trauma, a lot of drama, went through a lot of people, situations, and so I was like, wow. Because at first I was gonna throw the book in the garbage, right? And I was like, no, man, go ahead and read the book, and then you can get a little bit more insight as to who she is, and why she wants to be a gang leader, and why you rolling up on people. So the moral of the story is, it doesn't matter. You're gonna find yourself in situations where, because it was a little scary there. Because you got 30, 40 people surrounding you. They got rags on. I can't even remember the color. They had the bandanas. You know how they had the bandanas. They got the tattoos. So when I first turned around, it was a little unsettling. But then, I gotta stand how my cousin say. She was the first one I heard say this. Lay, 10 toes down, baby. I had to put them more than them boots on the ground. Right? Because if I had showed any fear, uh, they probably would have pummeled me. But when I turned around, I act like I was a gang leader down there by myself. You feel me? I wasn't. I'm not in the gang. Never been in the gang. But the perception that I gave them was like, come on. If you down, since y'all done cleared all the people out, we got space. Do what you gonna do. Cause I'm sitting right here. I'm not scared. I was. So I ain't gonna even lie. I was a little scared because that's a lot of people. And this, I'm a woman and these is dudes. And they younger. They were some younger dudes. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, shoot, what's going on? But of course, like I said, I know at least, at least 50 people in the audience. Plus, I probably knew some of the police officers, people that worked at the venue or whatever. So I wasn't really kind of worried about it. But that first time turning around, it was a little unsettling. But I had to stop my little heartbeat from pumping too fast. So I couldn't show no fear, and I looked them dead in the eye, like, "What's up?" I ain't down here to be. I'm over here trying to enjoy this concert. I ain't trying to be down here fighting, and I ain't trying to be nowhere else fighting. But I'm not gonna bow down to y'all. Just because you in a gang. In Detroit, there is a lot of gangs now, but when I was growing up, and throughout my life, because I was grown when these people approached me. I had to be in my 30s. Uh, and but we not really know we don't really we not gang culture type people. We're used to being able to stand on our own. Our parents gave us enough self-esteem, enough courage, enough discipline, and everything that we didn't have to be a follower. We could be cool with you if you was in some type of whatever you was trying to be in, but we weren't about to join you, cause that ain't conducive to being 100, being a follower. So just I'm just gonna say that I'm glad I made it out of that situation. I never found myself in that situation again. Because, like I said, I don't deal with no gang type stuff. But I did think about it later on of how dangerous that situation was, and wow, it was a trip. But like I said, I read her book. It was a pretty good book. It wasn't that thick. It was probably about. It was in big print, and it was probably about. I'm gonna say 75 pages. So it wasn't like a book. It was. It was her. It was her story, and it did give me some insight to her. I did run into her again, uh, and I told her. I said, "Girl," I said, that was some crazy stuff y'all did down there. I said, and y'all did this at Hart Plaza, 100,000 police down there, all kind of people was down there, and y'all was willing to jump on somebody for no reason. She was like, "Oh, woo, 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 I apologize, woo, woo, woo." Cause now we ain't at Hart Plaza now, with all the people watching, right? So she was like, "No, I'm sorry, I ain't never gonna do that again. I was just feeling a certain type of way." I was like, "Well, what reason would you have to feel a certain type of way about me? Cause I don't hang with y'all. I know you. I've seen you around." But as far as me and you in the same social circles, we not in the same social circles. Period. We not even in the same hanging circles. So it's no way that me and you could have any. She was like, "Well, I don't know why I did it or whatever." I said, "But it better not never happen again. I can guarantee you that because I'm sure that it's going to be another outcome from this situation." I said, "But I don't got nothing against you." I told her, I said, I did read the book, and so I do have more. I understand why you are doing what you doing with your life. So this for you is something that makes you comfortable. Being with a group of people and people listening to your directions, your orders, and I guess that makes you feel good. I said, "But that ain't me. I don't run like that." I said, "But I said, if you keep on writing, you could have a bestseller because you got a story to tell. And if I was you, I would stop focusing on that gang and go ahead and focus on your writing, because if you get a little bit of teaching with it, you'll be able to do it. And then you could leave this type of life alone. I don't want to see you out here gang banging. You a chick with 50 dudes with you all the time. I said, that ain't a life for you. I said, because you've been through a lot of struggles, lot of pain, a lot of hurt and whatever. I said I could see it in your face. I really could see it in her face. And so, like I said, no fight happened, just a confrontation. Me just standing on no fear, knowing that if something happened, I got backup. Even when I go to Detroit right now, I walk on every block, empty blocks, blocks full of houses, half a block with houses on it, a block with nothing. I'm 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 walking. I don't have no fear like that because I didn't live my life where I made people fearful of me. Uh, I bring people together with honey. I try not to use vinegar unless I have to. So uh, it was it was that was a real crazy experience. I'm glad I never had to experience that again because, like I said, for that first couple seconds when I turned around, seeing this whole area cleared out, baby, because I'm talking about it was packed down there. We like this up in that shoulder to shoulder, right? So when I'm feeling that I got a lot of moving around room, I was like, what's going on? The concert ain't over. I think it was like a intermission or something. And, I'm thinking people going to get something to drink, get something to eat. It's hot. People got their kids out there. So I'm thinking that's what was going on all the time. They was trying to trap me up in there. But thank God I had God on my side. Uh, and I made it out that situation without no harm, no scratches. Actually, was able to have a decent conversation with the person that came to try to confront me about nothing. Right? Oh my God! I'm just glad that nothing did happen down there because everybody's down there. Whole city dying. Well, I ain't gonna say the whole city down there, but hey, thousands and thousands and thousands of people was down there. Put it like that. So that's a lot of people. And who needs to be outside doing that? Not me. And so we both walked away from that situation with a better understanding of each other. Uh, she had her life to live, I have my life to live, and you know, we both agreed to let each other live their life. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. Uh, but the moral of the story is keep your eyes on the swivel. Cause you don't never know who behind you, who next to you, who on the side of you, who looking at you down from the air, from underground. You never know who is around you that have bad intentions on you, and you ain't even did nothing to bring the bad intentions on. You not thinking about no bad intentions of somebody coming to bother you. And it was crazy. It really was. But I thank God, and I hope that this young lady, I hope she see this. She know my face. I hope she see this, and I hope that in between that time and now, she has changed her life completely. You feel me? And that she's no longer trying to be in a life like that, and maybe hopefully she's somewhere encouraging other young ladies not to be in that life, because I don't encourage anybody to be a follower. A follower, that's a bad thing, being a follower. Be a leader, not a follower. uh so I appreciate you guys listening to me. I know I'll be rambling a little bit sometime when I'm talking. uh Kind of heard that the the volume was down on a couple videos. Sorry about that, you guys. But just wanted to just, like I tell people, these are just stories and experiences that I have went through in my life. If you can relate to them, comment, put a comment. If you ever went through a similar situation, comment what you think that I should have did in that situation. uh just let me know. Just let me know, because these just life experiences of me walking through this life. That's it. Walking with Val. Okay. Hey, YouTube, I appreciate you guys. This is a little long-winded. uh but hey, I kind of had to get this story out because this story actually, it does happen to a lot of people. And guess what? The experience really doesn't go like my experience went, period. People are losing their lives. Oh, it's bad out here, dude. So it is what it is, people. Hey, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Uh, I appreciate you guys. Hey, we need to get into the algorithm so people in other countries can hear these stories. More people in America can hear these stories. Hey, we out here. We trying to get them out. Okay, bye bye. You guys have a good day. Appreciate you.